I would like to speak briefly on a decision that was made in Mississippi regarding medical marijuana. So, Mississippi is legalizing medical marijuana for people with debilitating conditions such as cancer, AIDS, and sickle cell disease. This is an article from NPR that basically gives us a rundown of the situation. I'm just going to kind of jump around and read what I think is important and then give my opinion on this. So, this is important because, and if you look through my videos, if you like, you will find several months ago I made a video about this topic, basically the backstory goes as follows. They had a direct ballot initiative. It was direct democracy, of course, at the state level, where the people of Mississippi voted on whether or not they wanted to have medical marijuana legalized. They voted in favor of it. Guess what happened? The state Supreme Court stepped in and slapped it down. I feel like it's needless to say that that was among ideological reasons, no matter what they may say. Of course, they'll come up with their excuses, but we know how the game goes. Now, the state Senate and state houses stepped in to pass legislation to finally get this through, and here we go. So the new law will allow patients to buy up to 3.5 grams of cannabis per day, up to 6 days a week. That's about 3 ounces per month. It set taxes on production and the sale of cannabis, and it specifies that plants must be grown indoors under controlled conditions. The law gives cities and counties 90 days to opt out of allowing medical marijuana facilities for growing or selling, but people in those communities could petition for an election to overrule local officials' decisions and allow them. And I also want to talk about, so Mississippi's governor, needless to say, he's no ally of the people. Of the working class, of anybody in that sense. But of course, the public pressure campaigns were so large, and I mean, the people kind of forced their hand here to make this decision go through because, as I stated before, the Supreme Court slapped it down. He came out with some pretty asinine remarks, basically saying that, well, I know a lot of people want to legalize it recreationally, but if we do that, then a lot of people won't work and it'll be bad and jobs and other bullshit. As if there's endless amounts of statistics and scientific studies that point to the fact that when people smoke weed, they don't work. And when lots of people smoke weed, oh God, the jobs and the work ethic goes down, worker productivity. There's so much evidence and data on the contrary, it would be a literal waste of time to go through it. So that's what he had to say, and that's absolutely terrible and ridiculous. But overall, this is important because Mississippi has become the 37th state to legalize medical marijuana. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think there's, 18, maybe 19 states that have legalized it recreationally. I'm saying that off the top of my head. I don't have anything in front of me to tell me that, but I know for a fact Mississippi just became the 37th state to legalize medical marijuana. And it's around 18 or 19 that has recreational marijuana legalized. Look, man, this is like a domino effect. And it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. State after state after state. They're going to legalize it, whether it be medical or recreationally. And after one comes another. I'm telling you, pretty soon, we're going to have another direct ballot initiative or something else in Mississippi. And they're going to vote in favor of legalizing recreational marijuana, and they're probably going to go through the same ordeal they went through with this one, where it gets slapped down by some higher power, and there's public pressure campaigns and outrage and all the rest of it, maybe even some protests, who knows? But the people are very clear with what they want in regards to this specific issue. Now, there's a myriad of other issues, but this specific issue of marijuana, the people are like, yeah, legalize it. Legalize it. What are we doing? What are we doing? Legalize that stuff. And the federal government, the Biden administration, the Biden regime, dragging their feet. Dragging their feet. This was one of their campaign promises. I made the video relatively recently. Some of you may have seen it, of Kamala Harris saying, and Joe Biden said the exact same thing. This was on the campaign trail, and they were saying this, that they would decriminalize marijuana. They never flat out said they legalize it, but they did say they decriminalize it and expunge all the records of people who have been jailed for marijuana. Haven't done any of that. So those were obviously lies. But, I mean, we pretty much knew that going in. I mean, one's a top cop and the other one's a drug warrior. I mean, what do you think you're going to get with that combination? Exactly. Squat. So, look, man, this is good for the people of Mississippi, but this is going to be a recurring trend. Expect to see this in other states that have yet to legalize marijuana, whether it be recreationally or medically. Just expect to see this, and it's still illegal at the federal level. And what happens when all 50 states have legalized it? What do you do? Do you have some big crackdown? I mean, genuinely, what do you do? I mean, who knows what type of precedent that would set. But anyway, kudos to the people of Mississippi. And by the way, before I end this, you think that just because you legalize marijuana medically, there aren't going to be people that use it for recreational uses? There's already people that do that. Even when before it was legalized medically. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. They drive themselves into a corner when they argue against policies like these. But anyway, kudos to the people of Mississippi. And you can for sure expect this trend to continue nationwide.